Hey guys, Alex here, otherwise known as Clash with Style, and welcome back to this video where we are going to be taking a look at some OP Townhall 12 strategies. In specific today, we are going to be focusing in on the Zap GoWitch attack. Now this, I've already covered some of this at Townhall 11. It is incredibly strong at that Townhall, but it's also really strong at Townhall 12 as at Townhall 13 as well, so we might have a video coming for Townhall 13 very soon as well. But today we're going to be focusing in on Townhall 12. In specific, we've got a couple of attacks coming in from the Buy Forever family. So big shout out to these guys for allowing me to come in and record. These attacks were all from one of their recent NDL wars. So big shout out to NDL for putting on a sweet league. But without any further ado, we'll jump in and we'll start breaking down some of these strategies. Alright, so the first attack we are going to be taking a look at today does come in from Benny here of Buy Forever. And I'm just going to pause it right there as they throw in those first Zap spells. So the idea behind these sort of attacks is you want to get rid of 2 of the Inferno Towers. So as with the Townhall 11 attacks, you zap and you quake out 2 Inferno Towers. Obviously at Townhall 11 you've only got 2. At Townhall 12 you obviously have 3 to try and deal with. So you need to focus in on picking the best 2 to create the funnel. And Benny really smartly here, he breaks down this base and he finds where the weaknesses are, and it's pretty obvious here. If you can get rid of this section and get rid of this section, there's going to be a nice clear path right through the middle of the base. Now the issue that I always find here, and you'll see it's a common theme throughout these attacks, is they bring in the log launcher. Now I've used the log launcher plenty of times at Townhall 10, 11, 12, all these Town Halls. And I find it makes it incredibly difficult to funnel because that log launcher is doing so much damage so far into the base. It's reaching out, it's catching structures, it's taking them down before your troops get a chance to actually funnel in. So it's really important to create that funnel, and the zaps that Benny uses here really do that. So we're just going to let this play out. You can see he's going to use 4 zaps and a quake over on that left hand side. That's going to take down the wizard tower as well as the Expo, I believe, that was in there, or it was a wizard tower, sorry. And then we're going to be able to take down the defenses over here on that right hand side. That does just create a little bit more of a funnel here. Benny then going to bring in his golems. Of course, those golems are going to be used here to tank. 3 or 4 golems is what I would recommend for every single one. Most of the time 3 is going to be optimal here. You want those golems to do as much tanking for your troops as possible. But Benny smartly going to pause it up there again. Brings in one on the right hand side supported by 3 witches, brings in one on the left hand side supported by 3 witches. Now this is really vital, especially when you're coming into a corner of a base. I always love to come in on the flat side of a base, but Benny knew here he needed to come in the corner so he could catch this eagle artillery nice and early on with that log launcher. So we're just going to go ahead and play it. You can see that funnel really does get created. The log launcher opens up those walls incredibly quickly there, with also doing some really sweet damage onto the eagle artillery as well as some of these other defenses behind. The only issue I tend to find with this log launcher at Townhall 12 and 13, you'll see in a second when that log gets in range, boom, right there, it's going to activate that Town Hall. But Benny smartly, he's going to drop that Eternal Tome ability nice and early on, which means we don't have it to push us through that Giga Bomb, which is always a little bit of a risk. But the King is so far out in front here that he is going to first of all help take down these Clan Castle troops with that poison spell in there as well. But then he's going to be able to take down that Town Hall nice and quickly. We do lose a couple of witches and a few skeletons there that we're tanking for our troops in behind to that Giga Bomb. But not to worry, we do also have a jump spell in the mix as well. Obviously that log launcher did open up quite a significant amount of the base. I think Benny maybe could have got a little bit more value from this jump spell if he put it slightly further down. We could have got into this compartment right here. But we did have an ice golem, I believe, coming out of the that log launcher, which is really important because that ice golem is going to do a great job at slowing everything down on the back end. Obviously it does that freeze effect similar to that of the new ice hound when it hits any defenses. Also when it pops, of course, it's going to have that freeze. So it's really good to tank for single or multi-target infernos on the back end. We will jump in and we'll take a look at what he actually had fully coming out of his log launcher in a second. But you can see this is absolute overkill here from Benny. These witches crush through the back end of this base. He's going to drop that queen ability. Pretty much could have swagged it there on the back end, but it's a really good hit to start us off. So yeah, you can see he actually came in with a double ice golem out of that clan castle just to get a little bit more tanky, and he had a Valkyrie, couple of barbarians in the mix as well. So that was the composition for this first strategy. The strategies and the compositions, they come in slightly vary from attack to attack, but they're all pretty much the exact same when it comes to the zaps and the sort of the golems and the witches. And some of them maybe will have bowlers or a couple of super wizards coming in, but it's just slight alterations to the overall same attack. So let's jump in and check out this next one. Alright, so the next one we're going to be taking a look at does come in here from Baby Bruce, and he's coming in with a very similar strategy to that of the previous one, but this time there is no jump spell in the mix. We're only going to be bringing a rage spell to try and push our troops through, really relying very heavily on this log launcher to open up every single one of these wall compartments, throwing down those zap spells, throwing down those earthquake spells. Again, unfortunately, 5 zaps and a quake is unfortunately not quite enough to grab those expos, so they do stay up on incredibly low health, but a couple of shots from any of those troops and they will be able to take them down nice and quickly. Again, focusing just a little bit here on that funnel. We drop a golem at the top, a golem down at the bottom, and then we spam everything else in straight from this left hand side, trying to get this log launcher as far away from that town hall as possible so it can get maximum value right through this base. But I think Bruce maybe slightly rushed into his main portion of the attack. He could have let that funnel go just for a little bit longer, because nothing really is going to push into this compartment. We only have a couple of witches actually going into the core of the base, but this log launcher, as long as it can go in, we can get those ice golems out in front, can do some nice tanking on the back end. Gonna drop that poison spell down on the super minions rather than anything else. We actually have a double yeti coming out of that log launcher, which end up looping around the base. Could have done with them pushing into the middle, and this one is starting to look a little bit rough. But if you cast your eyes down to the bottom section of the base, you can see a massive army of these witches swinging around. That queen is also going to be able to get a decent chunk of value onto the town hall. I don't think she's going to be able to quite take it down, but she gets a really good chunk of damage done onto it. Double Yeti clean up quite nicely along that top section of the base. And this is what I was talking about in that first attack, how the log launcher kind of ruins the funnel. The log launcher took out so many defenses that the troops didn't have anything to be pulled in by, which was a little bit rough. But luckily we do have enough witches up here on the back end. We do still have one of our golems that has looped around the back end of this base to out in front to tank for us, and it still is pretty OP triple coming in right there. You can see smashing this base, a huge amount of troops left up on the back end, and that was with not everything pushing into the middle as Bruce probably wanted. So that's why I think it's so vital in this attack to just take a little bit of consideration into your funnel. Make sure you get those golems and witches down, let them settle, let them take down those defenses so everything does push into the base. But a nice attack coming in there from Bruce with the Zap GoWitch attack. Let's jump in and check out the last one of this video, which is going to be incorporating some super wizards into the attack. Sherlock 3.0 is going to be the final attacker coming in today, and you can see it is a bit of a different composition going to be coming in here. We've got 6 super wizards rather than the very, very heavy witch composition, but this does work really well for Sherlock. Also, he's going to be hitting here, I believe, from a flat side, which I really prefer, because that town hall is slightly further into the base. It means you can get a nice clear straight path for the witches, the golems, the log launcher, everything to go. We're going to be bringing in a golem at the top section, golem in from this left hand side, and you can see we get a couple of super wizards in combination with those witches, and that is going to rip through either side of this base incredibly quickly, because those super wizards do the chain damage. They can clean out these outer structures very, very rapid. Alright, and then we're just going to bring in the log launcher, we bring in our king, we bring in our queen, we bring in, we have the one golem out in front there, which is still doing a great job tanking, and then we're going to throw everything in. We do have a rage spell coming in as well. Going to be interesting to see what they bring out of the log launcher. The great thing about the log launcher as well, if it is rolling over the clan castle, as soon as those CC troops come out, you saw it right there, the headhunters, I think we had a couple other troops as well, they just got rolled over by the logs and they didn't end up doing anything. So the clan castle troops, unless they're air, get absolutely wiped out by the log launcher. The rage spell, beautifully placed right there, is going to allow these troops quite nicely through the back end of this base. Unfortunately, it looks like we have lost a couple of troops there. We do still have a golem and our queen bashing on a wall for some reason over here on that left hand side, but the double yeti that ends up coming out of the log launcher is going to do a nice job tanking here on the back end, also allowing our troops to just continue sweeping on through this base. They do end up making their way onto the outside. Unfortunately, nothing really stepped up here and took care of these defenses, but you can see if we speed up here, Still got that queen ability in hand. This one ends up being pretty OP as well. So bringing in a couple of super wizards, even just to help with that funnel initially, and then bringing in the witches behind the golems and the log launcher in your main portion of the attack is really, really wise as well. So clan castle troop wise, I would say in your log launcher, double yeti does work really, really well, as long as you can get that log launcher nice and close into the base. The double ice golem in that first one I thought worked really, really well. It really depends on how defense heavy the back end of the base is going to be. You need to look where the town hall is going to be. If there's a lot of big defenses there, might be worth bringing the double ice golem into tank. If it's not too defense heavy and you want some more DPS, the yetis is always going to be a really good shout as well. The yetis also with the yetimites, and a rage will take down that town hall incredibly quickly, so that's maybe something to take into consideration if you're going to be dropping that Grand Warden ability maybe slightly earlier than you would have anticipated. But yeah, that is all I have got for you guys today. Fingers crossed you did enjoy that. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this strategy out. It is incredibly strong at Town Hall 11, 12 and 13 right now. I've just seen it everywhere, so I wanted to bring you guys a video on it so you could use this in some wars and maybe in pushing as well. I know I think this would be great to maybe try and push the Legends League as a Town Hall 12 or something. Definitely very achievable. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Leave a like, subscribe as well if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.